Hello friends, this is Manoj. Welcome to Korg Experiments. In a series of videos, I am going to explain the process of recording music using Korg PA series keyboards, editing and mixing the music and getting the accompaniment tracks ready to sing along. Though I am using Korg PA 600 keyboard for this purpose, the process is same for all the PA series keyboards. The high-end versions of this series, however, have some advanced features. By the way, if you like this form of content about Korg keyboards, like its features, applications and functions, please subscribe and like my channel and press the bell button so that you can get notifications of my forthcoming videos. In Korg PA series keyboard, sequencer mode enables recording songs. In the first two videos, I'm basically going to talk about 3 different modes of recording, when and how to use these different modes, all the elements in the sequencer mode and recording mode, and how to twist and tweak these elements to get the best ultimate result. Let us go systematically and start with talking about the process of sequencing. So I press on the sequencer button on the panel board and it takes me to the sequencer play main page. Let me start with introducing you to the different elements in this page. This is the page where you basically edit the song you have recorded or listen to any other MIDI song data. On top of this page, we have the operating mode, which is the sequencer. Then we have the master transpose, which you can increase or decrease by pressing the transpose button on the panel board while playing the song. Then we have the page menu icon. If you click on this page, you can see different options: load song, save song, undo, delete, current track, solo track. I will explain each of their functions later on in the video or in the series of videos on this topic that will follow. Below them you can see new song. The first thing you should do before starting to record is to save it with a name of your choice. If I touch on the page menu and choose save song, it is asking me to save it to a location. I can either save it to the internal memory of the keyboard by choosing save, which will appear on the display, or select an external USB which I have attached to the keyboard. I'm choosing to save it to the USB which I have attached to the keyboard. It is now giving me the option to give a new name. For instance, if I want to recreate the famous song Jerusalema by Master K, I can name it as Jerusalema and press OK. At the moment I am not going to save it, so I press on exit and come back to the same page. Then we have meter pre-selected as 4x4, measure pre-selected at 1, and tempo pre-selected at 120. We can change all of them in the different recording modes covered later on. Before going further, I am going to load a song which I recorded. So I click on the page menu bar, choose USB and select the sample song I have created. It is a hi-hat and bass guitar session for 24 measures. Now you can see start from 1. Let me explain this feature a bit. For instance, I have this song which is a hi-hat and bass guitar session with 24 measures. I have already listened to the whole measure a couple of times and I feel some editing is needed from measure 16 to 24. I don't need to start from measure 1 again to do this. I can check the start from box and it turns red now. I need to change the value 1 to 16 and press the play button and the keyboard will start playing from measure 16 in this instance. This is very handy when we edit the song we recorded. Then we look at the tempo mode. I have 2 different options here. If I select the option manual, I can play the song in a higher or lower tempo than the one the song was recorded in. But if I selected the option auto, I won't be able to change the tempo, or even if I changed the tempo, it will come back to the recorded tempo when I press the play button. If anyone in the past tried to work around there and had no success, this is where the problem lies. I personally encountered this problem many times until I found the simple solution for it. Under this you can see the different tracks where a piece of music is recorded. Korg keyboards use a traditional 16-track sequencing method. Each track here is allocated to a separate instrument like drum, piano, guitar, strings, etc. The first page has 8 tracks, and if you press track select button on the panel board, it will take to the next page containing the other 8 tracks. On the track info area, we have the track number, the instrument that is in the track, the band the instrument is in, and the measure where the instrument is used. If you are looking at a recorded MIDI track like the one I have loaded, the different tracks will show the instruments that were used in the track during the recording. On the other hand, if you are looking at a pre-recorded page, it will show the track presets of the keyboard. You can change these instruments or bounce different relative instruments on the same track during the recording process. I will explain this process in the videos that will follow. Under each track, we can see the sliders or faders which show the volume of the instrument that was recorded in. We can increase or decrease it at different parts of the song, which I will cover in the part editing the song. That is basically about this page, and from here we move to the different modes of recording in Korg keyboard. So from this page, I press the record button. We can see the 3 options: multi-track sequencer, backing sequence, or quick record and step backing sequence. Choose the multi-track sequencer option. Let me explain the different elements of multi-track sequencing page. On top we have the song name, which is sample because I selected a song with a few tracks that I created. If you haven't saved it, it will show new song. Then we have the percentage of memory available for recording and the measure. Below this you can see the record mode. Korg synthesizers like an external recorder has 4 different modes of recording. The first one is overdub. It is generally activated when you record different tracks. In this mode, when you record a track, the new events get mixed with all the other events recorded in the track. The second one is override, and when we record it in the override mode, all the other events recorded will be replaced by the new events. Let me explain it with an example. I'm going to record the kick drum on top of the hi-hat and bass guitar session I recorded in overdub. I play it once and you can hear it well mixed. Now I am going to change overdub to override and record a snare on top of it. While recording, you can already hear that only the snare is sounding. I come back to overdub and play, and you can hear that the hi-hat and kick drum has been replaced by the snare. Then we have the auto punch, which will start recording only at the start position and end at the end position. Fourthly, we have the pedal punch mode. If there is a pedal switch attached to the keyboard, we can control the beginning and ending of the recording session by pressing and releasing the foot switch. However, we need to have at least one track recorded in the other 2 models before we can activate both these record modes. Then we have the tempo pre-selected as 120. We can either increase or decrease it based on the tempo that we want to set for the song. Below this we have the start from. I have already explained in the earlier part of the video how we can change the start from measure. In the recording mode, it is useful if I have recorded a session using a common rhythm pattern, and after a certain measure, if there is a change in the rhythm pattern, we can complete recording the first session and then start with the new session by setting the measure to where I want to start the new session. I will explain this feature in detail in the videos that will follow. Then we have resolution, which is basically quantization. I have explained quantization in detail in my video on creating new styles, a link to which you can see above. Then we have the meter setting, which you can change based on the meter that you're trying to record the song. Then we have the tempo mode. There are 3 different tempo modes. The first one is manual. This records the latest tempo the track was recorded in. Let me explain it with an example. I record a kick drum session in tempo 110 because I feel comfortable to play that session at that tempo. So I record it, and when I play back the song, I can hear both the sounds in the latest tempo, which is 110. But the actual tempo I want to set is 120. So I'm going to increase it to 120 and add a snare and cymbal to the drum track. When I play back, you can hear all of them well mixed and playing at the tempo 120. Auto mode is the opposite of manual mode. In this mode, if I recorded a session in tempo 120 first and then changed the tempo to 100 while recording some other instruments, I will not be able to record it in that tempo, because when I press the play button, it will come back to the original tempo that was set. You can see it in the example. I'm going to add a piano piece to the drum session I recorded at tempo 100 using auto tempo. When I play back, I can hear all the instruments playing at tempo 100. Now I am going to record some strings on top of it, and so I increase the tempo to 110, and when I press the record button, you can see that the tempo comes back to 100. In record mode, all the tempo change events will be registered to the master track. For example, I recorded certain events in tempo 100. After certain measures, I record a string session in tempo 180. Then I play back the song in sequencer mode. It will play in tempo 100 up to that measure where the tempo change happened, and the tempo will throw back to 118 from that measure. You can see it clearly in the example. This can really muddy up the recording unless you really want the tempo change at that measure. To make it clear, I'm going to record the same again in the manual mode. When I play the song in sequencer mode, you can see that the tempo is consistent, though I played with the tempo in between the recording. These are all the main elements in multi-track sequencing mode. We have extensively discussed about the multi-track sequencing mode and its main elements. In the next video, I will be discussing about the elements and components of backing and step backing recording methods. So stay tuned for the next video. Meanwhile, if you liked this content, please do not forget to like this video. And if you did not like this video, you can definitely press the unlike button.